All right. So, what's up, everyone? We have another partner. I'll let him introduce himself. But welcome to another episode where we get to know the story of Chicho's. So go ahead and introduce yourself.
What's up, guys? I'm Rory Schindel, a.k.a. Pizza Boy Roy.
Pizza Boy Roy. All right. Well, before we get into it, I just want to ask you guys what's been on your minds lately. I mean, this is a...
Is it really my back pain?
Well, yeah, we just did it 20 minutes ago.
Yeah, this is a double header today, so we actually filmed the episode right before this, so this is the first time.
This is going to be the Rory show, basically.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So
you can cut and paste my answers from the last one.
Okay, cut and paste.
So that's directed towards me.
Yeah.
What's been on my mind?
Yeah.
Chicho's, as always.
Chicho's.
Trying to better the Backstage location, and Thursdays are one of those days that we do it.
All right, cool. And yeah, we have our marketing meeting today. So, I mean, is there anything specific about Chicho's that's been on your mind lately?
No,
or just Chicho's in general?
I've talked earlier about the roller coaster ride of this business. It has its ups and downs, and maybe that's something you want to touch on. Maybe that's been on your mind because we've been, regrouping, reorganizing, and trying to fix a few things, right?
Yeah, for sure. Staffing is always on my mind for Backstage. Backstage has always been a struggle within the industry and the business itself. It's pretty hard out there in Norfolk, and it's honestly been pretty good recently, so I'm happy for that.
Yeah, and I guess because the spring's coming too, like we're kind of getting out of a slow season a bit.
Yeah, we're picking up for sure.
So that's a plus. But yeah, I'll just get straight into it. I mean, when did you start coming into Chicho's? When did your story begin here?
I think I either got hired in 2018.
Okay.
Or the end of 2017.
That'd be, I think, 2017.
It was 2017.
I went and headhunted Rory. I went and found him.
Where were you before Chicho's?
So I took a little tour of restaurants in Virginia Beach.
Nice.
I actually got picked up when I was in college from two friends, Chris Pryor and Kayla Greenway. They came out to Virginia Wesleyan where I was attending college, and they wanted to promote for their bar that they were working at. And as we walked around the campus, I basically did their job for them.
Damn.
I took the flyers and handed them to everybody I knew and just told them what was up, introduced Chris and Kayla. And from there, they literally called me like a week later and asked me to come work for them at Time Lounge on Granby Street in Norfolk.
Oh, really?
Yeah, full circle
there. Is
there.
it still there? Or no?
Nah, that's gone. It turned into Urban Outfitters and now it's some market. But yeah, they asked me to come bar back, and then I was a college kid making anywhere from $100 to $150 a night bar back, and then it was kind of game over from there.
Yeah.
But Time Lounge, then Time closed. Billy Hudson and John Lindsay moved me over to Venue in Central. That lasted about 4 years. Then I went to Seaside Raw Bar. That lasted about 4 or 5 years. And then I went to Butcher's Son. That was a good 3 years of different kind of style stuff, fine dining or fast casual, if you will. Did wine service, did table service, all that good stuff.
Jeez.
And then from there, I went to Ballyhoo's. Ballyhoo's opened up. I was trying to find an old Kokomo's vibe over there or something like that. Some people might remember Kokomo's over there, Marina Shores. And I didn't really like it. So I went on a search, and Ed was on a search, and I kind of got pushed towards Chicho's with an old relationship of mine, and it worked out, I feel like.
Then you went on a crash course of working 30 hours in the kitchen a week during the middle of the summer,
like
getting covered in flour. Then we'd shove him behind the bar, and that was his crash course to become a partner.
Hey, it was perfect, though. It really was. With 35 hours a week scheduled in the kitchen, and not one bartending shift was not after a kitchen shift. So every single bartending shift, I literally walked outside, showered off with the hose, and then put a different shirt on and walked behind the bar.
That's intense.
Made him do it the real way.
Yeah, but to give everyone context who's watching, Rory is a partner here at Chicho's currently. And if you want to explain, I guess, how your role has changed throughout the years, because you started in 2017, 2018, and now it's almost 10 years, 2025, which is, I guess, we're 2 years from your 10, which is crazy to think. Hopefully, got your wheels turning.
Yeah. I mean, that's a common thing, though. You got Stevenson, Potter, Rob, a bunch of people here 10 plus years. But how it's changed, I'll say I was young, and I was very eager, and I wanted to learn everything I could about the industry and everything like that. So I've always been that way, especially every bar I worked at. So even Seaside, I used to do the entire operation kind of by myself on like a Wednesday, because we tip the cooks out 35%. So if I was the cook and the bartender, people were like tipping me out double time. So it was cool. But with Chicho's, pretty much, I mean, how it's changed, I mean, doesn't change. You're still a workhorse. Like you put it on your back and you run with it. Back then when I started, though, I feel like I was under the right, wing of Potter. Potter was in there nonstop. I was in there nonstop at that point. And then from there, they kind of trial ran me over at Shore Drive. We had to switch some things up. So I went over there and managed that one for about 6-7 months before Backstage started to really develop. You know what I mean? When Daryl went in there and started to do work and everything. But I mean, now as an operating partner, it's hard, but it's the same. There's more tasks, more hats to wear. Learned very quickly that I could open a plumbing company, an electrical company. I mean, anything that has to happen, you just do it. But it's all the same.
So I want to open the question up to my dad and Ed. What was your first impressions of Rory?
Oh, God.
How has that changed over the years?
So I mean, I knew he fit the role. That's why I went and searched him out. There was a couple people I was trying to find, and I knew he'd fit it. I mean, working where he started at 29th Street in the middle of that summer, hotter than hell in that kitchen, and putting in that time, I knew he had it in him right then and there. So, first impression was like, this is the guy that'll do the job. How's anything's changed through time? I mean, look, Rory's on an island. He's out in Norfolk, and it might not seem far, but it's a good 45-minute drive for myself and Lou or anybody else. And so he's out there pretty much solo most of the time. And meanwhile, Rob's got me up his butt like every other day. It's just different. So he has to handle everything on his own. And we always say, does Rory do it Rory's way or the way we want it to do? He does it Rory's way, but the job gets done, and there's not many people I feel that you could just go throw out into the ocean and say, swim. So I give him all the credit in the world on that part.
Yeah.
I try to do it mostly Chicho's way, but yes, I have some curveballs.
If he had to be living a mile up the road from him, he'd be doing it the other way.
For sure.
Yeah. What about
this
you, Dad?
industry is an elastic band. You have to stretch it, and once it gets loose, you pull it back in.
I'll snap them every now and then.
How often do you snap though when you stretch it?
Yeah, it happens. It'll happen.
Yeah.
But he's got one of those hot heads though too. So when him and I do it, it's just like, here we go.
Then 5 minutes later, we're like,
okay, we're good.
I think we set him up to the best way possible by throwing him in the kitchen at 29th Street in the middle of the summer and learning everything about the back of the house with our brand. And forced him into that situation where he was going to be able to survive on that island by himself. So him being the youngest partner out of the group, we've been able to learn the word patience, because he's, 2 decades younger than me. And so I see a lot of the stuff that he's gone through because Ed and I have actually gone through that stuff. And, when we try to be the Jack Army Swift knife that we Swift Army kniff, Jack of all trades.
You got to pick one of them.
Jack knife.
Or whatever.
Yeah, you're a Jack knife.
With the hospitality industry, I mean, he still is, has the ability in that specific location to go after a certain part of the brand that I personally have outgrown. Mm-hmm. And so, I give him a lot of credit to be able to do that because it is one of the locations that truly is open from 11 a.m. to 2 a.m. And that is a very tall order to fulfill. Because I did that when I was his age back then. So I can relate to it, and it's kind of giving me the patience that that you need to have a younger partner that's reliving the same track that you did.
Yeah.
And to Ed's point, not many people can do that. So.
And now, kind of building off of this, to Rory, now that you've kind of been in deep with this, now you kind of have also these people looking up to you now at Backstage, like Bubba and Carly, and like, how has that, like, I mean, changed your, I guess, role, and I guess how it's shaped you?
Full disclosure here, ever since the start of Backstage and being on that island and having conversations with Louie at the beginning of it, where, he was even like, he was 28 when he first, invested in his first restaurant. So we were literally the exact same age when we both invested together, or at, that time in our life.
Yeah.
But I mean, it kind of turned me into a dad, like, in a way. Like, I take care of the restaurant and the people there. Like, I've had employees that I've housed in motels because it's the cheapest way to keep them, employed or whatever. Plus, it gives them opportunity to maybe get on their feet or whatever it is. But those are a couple times that's happened. But random employees, and then you've got, the people that are my backbone right now, like Carly and Bubba, and the cycle continues. You want to set them up for success either within your company or later down the road. So, whether they stay with me or not, Carly's been with me since day one at Backstage. But, I hope that she learns from me, or learns what not to do or what to do, you know what I mean? I guess, again, like, the cycle continues. Like, they set me up with a crash course, and then, it turns around, and I kind of, as much as I'm owner operating and whatnot, you always kind of want to set yourself up for the next step. So I would need somebody to be able to fulfill those shoes before I can move on. So it's just a continuing cycle and process that you put on the next person.
Torch. Yeah. Yeah. Any thoughts on that, guys? Ed?
No, I mean, he's not wrong, because we've tried to push Rory in different directions a few times. We tried to make him set himself up for, we call it an exit plan. It's not really an exit plan when you have a business. It's just kind of being able to remove yourself for a little bit and kind of float around, do some new things and grow. And we've tried to force him a few times, but he's bucked back, and he felt like his job wasn't done where he was, and he wanted to do something, try to full disclosure. I think when we opened that place, we went down a road that, like your dad was saying, the nightlife was real heavy there, and it's in an area where that might not be conducive for the best type of business like that. And, we had to kind of 180 a little bit, and now we're trying to get back to a certain part of that. So I think Rory wanted to go back and do it again, but do it a little bit different this time, and kind of he wants to set things straight the way he wants it to be. Mm-hmm. And so that's I think I respect that, because we were just going to, we were trying to use him for some different avenues, which I still think he will do in the future. But he didn't feel like his job was done there.
Yeah,
that building is just so unique and cool, and it's honestly a sentimental thing to me. I've told them this story, but my dad actually sent me the pictures. It was March 3rd, 2002.
Oh, wait. That's
Papa Roach Last Resort Tour. Oh, wow. That was at the Norva. That was my first concert.
Really?
I went to Kelly's Backstage, ate early. We went to the Backstage entrance, which is the wooden door that we have, our fire exit. Yeah. We went stage right. We were one of the first 30 people in the show. Like, I crowd surfed the whole time. I remember the whole day, like the whole night. And then Louie goes, we're on the way to Ocean City, and he's like, hey, we're thinking about taking over the Backstage location in Norfolk. I'm like, can I have that? Can I run that? Like, please? Can I please, run that one? He was like, I'll think about it. I was like, okay.
Because that's
like, if you do good gambling in Ocean City. Just kidding.
I mean, it's March 6th, so that's like 4 days ago.
Yeah,
March
it was
2nd.
literally 23 years ago?
Yeah.
Well, that's fun. I never knew that. Yeah. That's interesting.
That's awesome.
It's. I mean, I just remember Kelly's Backstage as the restaurant, and the deal that was with the Norva and all of that stuff. So we don't have the same deal now, but just knowing that building, knowing the area from working there in college and that sort of thing, just feel like I had a better vision of letting it go when I was ready. You know what I mean? It's got to be
really
right.
Cool.
Man, it's definitely a historical building. because my first experience with the building, it was called DAC, Downtown Athletic Club.
Oh,
It was actually a gym.
Really?
Yeah. The whole building was a gym. And
Even the concert venue?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
And so,
The dance floor is actually the old racquetball court.
yeah.
No way.
They had tall glass racquetball walls up, and
I
the
had
easiest
no
thing to do
idea.
was just cut the walls down and leave the floor there for a dance floor.
I would have never known.
Same outline.
Yep.
Jeez.
Yep. So, very historical building.
Dang.
That's what happens when you work there. You talk to everybody.
Yeah.
It's been around for 25 years.
Yeah. Jeez. That's really cool. So, yeah, to give everyone context, Backstage is connected to the
Norva.
Norva, which is a concert venue in Norfolk that's actually gets a lot of good artists like through it. And like I think, what are some notable ones recently? I haven't been.
Well,
keeping up.
notable ones that we've gotten to cater to because we've been over there.
Yeah.
We were supposed to do a Pizza Aoki event with Steve Aoki, but
Oh.
COVID hit right before that. That was
Man, that
going
would've
to
been
be
sick.
really cool. But we've catered for Marcus King Band. We've catered for Rainbow Kitten Surprise. There was all the reggae bands usually hit us up for food. But yeah, a bunch of them. And then luckily, with Backstage being kind of a smaller venue, I've had friends in the music industry and whatnot throw us some shows that correlate with smaller acts, but people that play with the same bigger acts at the festivals and whatnot. So we've had
cool.
a lot of reggae, like Drifting Roots, a couple other guys. But
Drifting Roots
yeah.
is cool. Yeah. I mean, we kind of dug into it a little bit, but the question I like to ask is like, what does Chicho's mean to you? And then what does it mean to live Chicho's? It's a bit loaded question. I mean,
What does Chicho's mean to me? Well, it's more than a job. These guys are family. I go on, Potter's family golf trip every year for the last 5 years now. So his family's become extended family. Rob, Mike, everybody else that's partner, Ashley even, we've butted heads as brother and sister sometimes, but everybody becomes more. But other than that, to live by Chicho's, I just think that it does kind of become a little bit of a lifestyle when you become part of this company. And, one thing that I'm joked about within my family and close friend group is like, how many layers of Chichos are you wearing today? Luckily, I've only got one sweatshirt and then a nice Cardinal Skate Shop shirt from downtown Norfolk, but usually it's 2 to 3 layers of Chichos. Louie has, I call it the hand-me-downs, but sometimes Louie buys stuff and gets it embroidered and then doesn't fit them right, so we get nice FootJoy jackets, or I think one time he went out and got everybody vests and Jake didn't like his, so I got Jake's vest or an extra one. I still wear that, but...
Does that mean Louie needs to exercise more? I mean, what are we talking about?
why is he getting smaller?
Nah, I mean it's kind of a lifestyle, and it's fun to promote the brand that you're a part of.
I didn't force that either.
Yeah.
The lifestyle where it came on its own.
Yeah,
I mean,
organic,
it's fun to promote the brand that you're a part of, and
Yeah.
with it being around 56 years now, or
60 almost.
60
1968?
almost. Yeah,
Yeah.
68 almost.
Yeah.
But it's been around so long. You wear a shirt and people bring up a story, or they ask which one you work at now, and I mean you get connected to people through that. So
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I mean, I think one thing I want to ask you is like, what's ahead for you? I think what do you envision Chicho's in the next, I guess, year, next 5 years, maybe next 50 years? I mean, might be hard to see right now, but
depending on
yeah.
where
Well, how about for yourself?
Louie's tangents.
Well, what about for
take him
yourself?
within the brand, and then where I can fit in with those and whatnot.
Yeah.
It's whatever, but.
Well, I mean, I think everybody thinks that it's like whatever he's thinking or whatever we're thinking over here. It relies on you guys, the partners that we're talking to.
I told you guys in the beginning, I wanted to be not done.
He
but
must go to the Outer Banks.
I wanted to be out of full day-to-day, like needing to be there, operations of Backstage within or like around 5 years. I felt like that was a good goal. This would be year 5 almost. Well, 5's done. This is year 6. So this would be like where I really have to get it done. But yes, I've always said Outer Banks. I've vacationed and lived in Outer Banks my entire life. I lived down there in the colleges, like of
Not
summer,
a post.
the summertime of colleges.
that'd be really cool.
And I don't know. I mean, I know that one is even more seasonal than any of our other ones.
It's also true.
That might be tough.
It's just, again, it's got to be the right deal.
Yeah.
In business, you always look for the best deals with ROIs and all that stuff. And restaurants are all about location, 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 and then rent. And in this day, it's all about rent, because if you got a low overhead, then you might be better. Well, you'll definitely be better. But yeah, I'm still all for trying to be done with having to be there and being able to do other things at the end of this year. And then, you know, I mean, everybody wants residual income right now, so we're all looking for that somewhere.
Yeah, that's true. Just shape the life you want.
Yeah.
I'm not opposed to Outer Banks at some point.
Yeah.
Probably cool.
Look, all we have to do is build it and then have the apartment above it so that I can stay there.
Yeah. I mean, what are your thoughts?
And then
on that
Louie's like, we
vision?
need 2 apartments because I'm going to be down there.
Yeah.
And Ed's like, we
We
need
can
3
rent one out.
apartments.
Yeah, we can rent
Have
one
a
out.
beach house in North Carolina.
Well, we had an
That'd be sick.
opportunity to go to Outer Banks, but we passed on it. The numbers didn't work. And it was a good opportunity to own the property and the business. But, I mean, opportunity will always be there. I mean, they're thinking Outer Banks, I'm thinking Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
Which, I'm not opposed to that either.
Well, it's because you got these kids all grown up. I can't leave here. I got time still.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I think it'd be good because I think we can swap out. You know, I can be down there for 6 months, and then another partner can come down there.
That could be
and
fun.
then live down there for 6
I
months.
have no kids yet.
Yeah. Is that something you're planning on having, kids?
I would like to have
Okay.
a kid or 2, but
All right.
He needs to have
I
some
need
of
a
himself
worker.
just so he can deal with himself. He needs to feel that.
I need a worker in 15 years. Are you kidding?
Yeah, that's right. That's crazy how it all kind of cycle. The cycle of life is it's always happening. But dang, we're coming close to the end of the segment here, I think. But before we get to that segment, I think one thing I also want to ask. Oh shoot! Now it just left me.
Drew a blank.
It drew a blank, but shoot, I'll just get into the segment.
Yeah, get
closing
Rory's
segment.
3.
Yeah, so one segment we like to do is weekly motivation and sources of inspiration. One moment of goodness from the week is one of the questions. One thing you're looking forward to, and then one aim/dream you're working towards. So we kind of touched on it a little bit, but we'll just start with the first one. Through the line, one moment of goodness from the week.
I'm going to touch on last week. Last week, we did our first Dart League night.
Yeah, that was cool.
It was a very big success, I feel like. Everybody had a good time. We've already gotten a couple texts and everything about it. That's going to happen tonight. But within that, it can kind of lead into something else because, I kind of bit off Dylan's idea doing that out at Hickory.
Yeah.
But we've had a little dart room downstairs at Backstage for a while, but, making it an organized event was something that I stole from him. And within that, I took an inspirational thing from Ed, if you will, where he said, your events and stuff don't work unless you own it. And it's true because Potter and I do all these crazy events and crazy ideas that we have together, but it doesn't work unless Potter and I run it. So, with the drunken spelling bees that I'm always involved in, the Dart League now, like those tend to be better events. And then sometimes when I just book something and leave it inside the restaurant for somebody else to kind of handle, it doesn't, it's not always the best.
They don't see what you
return.
see.
And that's him and Potter's strong points, those kind of things. So when they're not doing those, then I start looking at them like, what are you guys doing?
Yeah.
But sorry to interrupt there.
No, that's good. But yeah, that was a highlight of, the past week within the business, and then a little bit of inspiration that, these guys always say stuff. And sometimes I feel like we all say things and then like literally within the next 3 weeks, like that same month, we're all like, damn it, we just said this to each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll say something at our meeting on Sunday, and then Bubba and I will come into a meeting on Tuesday, and Ed will yell at us about it. And I'll be like, I fucking told you.
Knew that was coming.
I told you.
I remember the question. It was, what has been like the hardest struggle through your Chicho's journey, and how did you learn from it? That was it. That was the question.
The hardest struggle. is actually the best struggle.
Oh, wow.
Being on an island in Norfolk.
Nice.
I can probably count on both my hands the times I've seen these guys out there. But it hurts, but it doesn't, because it makes me feel like, wow, they trust me a little bit, but also like it lets me do my Rory things and be successful within my own skin. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
your personality.
That's the way I look at
it. I like that.
It's a struggle being on an island, but it's also great.
Nice. The island lifestyle.
Yeah.
So
Puerto Rico would be nice.
I was gonna say, you're talking about Outer Banks of Puerto Rico.
That's a real island right there. But the second one is one thing you're looking forward to.
For just the week.
Just the week?
Just the week.
Or it could be a couple weeks, but.
Yeah. In the recent.
Can't double back and say Dart League.
It can be personal, too. I did all personal stuff today.
Oh, yeah. It doesn't have to be business or personal, or it doesn't have to be business related.
Looking forward to my 30-day self-check. We started a 30-day kind of write out my notes, write out my to-do lists, and then I have like a day or two to knock them out, and I'm very driven with that. So
Cool.
My girlfriend Rachel and a bunch of my friends, they'll literally like tell me like I don't sit down, and it's because my list isn't done.
Yeah.
So
I'm gonna start adding stuff to that list.
I started to knock things out around the house, around personal life and the business, but.
Trying to get that
all
balance.
in all, it all coincides together, because the more organized and better I feel at home, the more I'm able to put effort and time into the business and be happy around my employees and partners and everybody else.
To be present.
There you go.
And then the last one is one aim or dream you are working towards or hoping for.
Puerto Rican island.
So you might have already hit it.
Yeah.
You might have already
Look
hit
over
it.
here real quick. Puerto Rican island life. I don't know. I mean, yeah.
There could be an opportunity. Let's see.
Yeah, that could be pretty cool. I mean, I know Ed and Louie, you already had your
Yeah, I can't.
moment
You're not
of
going to get anything new out of me right now.
So sorry guys for who's watching, but
It's all about Rory. This is Rory's.
yeah, this is
It's a
Rory's
meet
show.
and greet.
Yeah, we'll do
We'll be
some
back.
spin-offs one day, but we'll close it out with the one-word close. Of what that means is just think of one word to like capture all the feelings you're feeling, or like the whole experience of this. And yeah, I'll make you guys put out a word just from this conversation.
All right. We'll make him go first while I'm thinking. Actually, no, I'll get it. It's perspective, because hearing his side, his little takeoff of, his story. Some things I knew, but some things I didn't, and how he sees it, it's just different, So I like perspective. I like that.
Nice.
I got a good story out of him.
Sweet. I like that one a lot.
And then I'll go second, and Rory can close it out. So my word would be curious.
Oh.
Because to Ed's point, getting Rory's perspective on his journey with the Chicho's brand and what he's kind of planned out. I'm really curious to see how well he can execute his plan of being available to go do other things at the end of this year, and what we can do to help him. I mean, getting Carly and Bubba up to speed, so he doesn't have to be so hands-on and available to go work on other projects. But
Which it's more than a two-man job out there for them too. But yeah, we just got to build a team around them with them. But
you know what you need to do. It's just whether or not you can do it.
This is also makes it another like one word, motivated. You know what I mean?
Motivated.
Doing
There you
this
go.
is kind of motivating, because I've got the two big dogs next to me, and they're kind of telling me their side of what they think about me, and helping me a little bit.
If you opened up saying you have this plan of action, now you know what's going to happen. Now you're going to get pushed.
Yeah.
Sorry to put you in the spot.
But yeah, I mean, when ODU came up and everything like that, I've always wanted to be available, and it kind of was not available for me because I'm still stuck, hands all in at Backstage, and I'm 10, 15 minutes away from ODU. So I can be the relief or like the emergency contact, but I'm not fully available right now.
Well, now you got 9 months.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I'll wrap it up with one word: understanding. I think that's a solid word
good one.
To wrap it up. But thank you again. Thank you guys for tuning in to the Chicho's channel and for listening to Rory's story.
All right.
All right. Thank you guys.
Time.